Ready?
That was me, man. All right, y'all chill out. Yeah, I'm ready. Dude.
Steve, what up, brother?
Much, man. How you doing?
I'm chilling. I'm happy to have you back on, my guy.
Yeah. Happy to be back.
Facts. So I'm gonna do just a brief intro real fast, and then we'll get it. All right. So welcome to the Michael Balco Show. Today I have a special guest for y'all. He's a Wake Forest alum, member of the Dean's List, and a good friend of mine, Steve Claude. What's up, my brother?
Not much. How you doing, man?
I'm good. So, we have talked before, right? During like your draft process and all that, you were actually my first ever NFL draft prospect interview. We've stayed in touch since then. We've become pretty good friends. And, we talked a little bit about how you were preparing for the NFL draft and all that. I know that we both stayed in touch throughout the process, but like, what is like the skill set that you learned from like the NFL draft experience, like as a whole?
I say skill set I learned is probably being more of a, in terms of like life, I say being more of a people person. I usually, more family, staying laid back to myself, but being more open to talking to people, doing interviews, stuff like that. It's just never been me because I've never been the type to want to like the spotlight or want to do interviews after games and stuff, even though like sometimes I was forced to, but just learning those skills, and then on the field, just more detailed stuff in the football world, like do like simple head nods to make a DB go a certain way, or like putting your head down and not giving up on a deep ball that's like may seem that's like it's 5 yards over your head or something, putting your head down and giving that extra oomph and going to get it with late hands, things of that nature I've learned a lot.
Right. So, despite all your hard work, unfortunately, you weren't drafted. But, what's it like, training like hella hard, right? And then, not getting the result you necessarily hope for in the end?
It's all right. Of course, everybody wants to be drafted. But at the same time, it's still – people have been in your situation. People's been in this situation before, and I won't be the last person that's in this situation. So that's why I say education is like key, because like that's why I picked a school like Wake Forest, to where if something like this was to happen, I have something to fall back on, which is like my degree from Wake. So just I'm still going to keep working out, still going to keep the dream alive, but I know that this isn't the end of me, so it's okay.
Yeah, for sure. I know we talked about that in our first interview. Whenever we did, talk about why you chose Wake Forest, education was obviously a big part of that. And then obviously getting on the Dean's List, you really worked your ass off in that classroom. I'm proud of you, bro. But so what teams were interested in you like before the draft, and then like have any teams really been in contact following the draft?
I know everything goes through my agent, but the team he talked to me about the most is the Chargers. And I know with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, there's a lot of those two great receivers I can learn from. I would have been able to learn from in that system. They didn't draft me, they didn't pick me up, but it's all right. If they do come around still later on, that'd be lovely. If any team comes around, that'd be lovely. But that was the team that he talked about the most to me.
Yeah. Okay. So no team's been in contact after though?
No teams have been in contact, or at least not to my knowledge. My agent talks to everybody for me, so
in due time.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. All right. So, what's kind of like been the process following the draft? Everyone knows about like, the Joe Burrows, right? And the guys that like get drafted, but like, what's your experience as an undrafted free agent who didn't really, you didn't get picked up in that like first wave of the undrafted free agency period? Like, what's the process like now?
Now it's just more of working out and trying to put yourself more out there, working on things like running routes and stuff, sending teams more film of you, more game film, just doing everything you can to get in front of the right person's eye to make them say, maybe we want him on our team. It's not, I wouldn't say it's a difficult process, but it's not like picking a college anymore where, okay, you have this amount of schools wanting you and you picking a school. Now it's like you want somebody somewhere to notice you. You want somebody somewhere to say, we need him. He's going to be effective for us.
For sure. Um, obviously Wake Forest had a few guys get picked up in the draft and then signed afterwards. What's it like seeing your teammates who put in their work alongside you get picked up?
Oh man, that's a great feeling. You know, me, Kendall, Scotty, Justin are all great friends. We've been talking since they've gotten picked up. And they have positive mindsets about everything. Like even towards me, they say like, "Hey, you're a great player. Great things are gonna happen for you." So just having that same support for them and letting them know like, "Hey, I am proud of you. Keep grinding, keep having that same work ethic, or even more now that you're there at that level." Because like it is a business. So like any advice, anything I could give them in terms of like work ethic or anything, I will do it. Or anything I see that they're doing, I might think they're doing wrong. If they send me a clip of film or something like that, they'll come to me and I tell them, hey, change this, do this, because we are boys at the end of the day. So it's not like, oh, I'm bitter or anything like that. You want to see all of your friends succeed, even if you're in a tough situation yourself.
Facts. So, you mentioned to me previously about how you'd be willing to play, multiple positions, whatever you need, like whatever teams need, if they needed an extra corner, you'd hop out there, all that good stuff. Did teams know that about you heading into the draft?
I don't think they knew that about me. Like, I think they had a feeling because on my you fill out a sheet before you go to the NFL, and on the sheet I wrote athlete. Although majority of my film was at the wide receiver position, I wrote athlete to let them know, like, hey, I can do anything you want. Because you have people that's from Miami, like that I know that has made this transition, like Quentin Dunbar. He played wide receiver in high school and college, and then now he's a top tier corner in the NFL. So it's like I can make that switch and work at it. And if I did make that switch, I know I could hopefully or possibly become that top tier corner also.
Yeah, for sure. So, obviously, not being drafted, it's got to be like tough to deal with. It really just like adds a chip on your shoulder. So, like what's next for you, brother?
Just hopefully the NFL works out. If not, you still have other football leagues like the XFL if that comes back, or the Canadian Football League, because you have people like Cameron Wake. Cameron Wake is a all-pro NFL player. Everybody knows him. Hopefully, future Hall of Famer who started his career off in the CFL and was a monster there before the Dolphins signed him. And now look at him. Everybody loves Cameron Wake. So just hopefully I can be one of those people who, I may get my start somewhere else. I'm okay with that. I just want to play football and, do what I love doing, do what I love playing.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, anything about like the process of getting into that, or are you just still trying to learn it?
I'm still trying to learn it. I have coaches and stuff that have players that have played in the CFL who say, okay, we're going to, look out for you. If we hear something or know something, we'll let you know. But just the process in general, I don't know, like how what to do for the NFL, work out, get your numbers, get your film, send it to GMs and stuff. You know that process. But CFL, it's another country, so I don't know.
Yes, sir. Just keep sending that film out to them, bro. I guarantee you're gonna hit some hits for sure. But you have any advice for the young athletes out there? Everybody obviously, I've talked to several guys throughout the draft process, and some of them were fortunate enough to get drafted. But I kind of want to hear some advice, like somebody in your shoes who didn't get drafted, and like just give some advice to the young athletes out there who have the dreams of playing in the NFL, but they don't really necessarily understand the work you have to put into it. You know?
Just some advice I could give you is probably education is key. That's number one, first and foremost, because without that, you won't even touch the field without an education in college. Right. Secondly, it'll be just work as hard as you can, but don't put all of your apples in one thing. Like, I know having a dream of football is like everybody like, yeah, without football, I'm nothing, but you're more than just a football player. Like how LeBron said, more than just an athlete. So don't put all your apples into going to the NFL because, it may not work out. Like in my situation right now, the NFL isn't where life is taking me at this moment. So I know I have other things like that I can be doing with my degree. So just don't put your apples in one bunch. Education is key, and work your butt off. Like have that niche to make teams see that that they need you. Have something to where it's like, we need him on our team. He will do this better than somebody else. You know, like in my case, I feel like I'm gonna be the biggest dog on any team I go on. Like I have that chip on my shoulder where it's like, you put somebody in front of me, I'm gonna dog you every play. So I feel like every player needs something about them to where they can go out there and say this about themselves, and like they're gonna do this. And even right now, if I'm not on the team and I have to go, get a job or somewhere else, I'm gonna be a dog at my job. I'm
Hell yeah.
gonna, go into the work field. Like if I'm, that's for example, if I'm selling cars, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna sell more cars than this person. I don't care what I have to do to sell more cars, I'm gonna sell more cars than them. Not saying that's the career path I'm choosing. I just use that as an example.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
yeah, that's it. Education is key. Be a dog and like work. That's it. Have that niche.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you hopping on today. Yeah, that's all I got. So
Most definitely,
appreciate it,
bro.
dog, and I'm gonna stay tuned for sure.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. God bless.
You too, Jim.